Canelo Alvarez, the robbery was very close. Teddy Atlas, boxing trainer, speaks on it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Come right in, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon. Now, Dmitry Bivol, you guys see the picture on the screen. He defeated Canelo Alvarez over the course of 12 rounds. It was the best fight on the card. Canelo Alvarez, he did not look too hot to trot. Let's get into what Teddy Atlas had to say, and I'll give you guys some more details. Bang! So Teddy Atlas posted a picture of Dmitry Bivol teeing off on Canelo Alvarez. The caption says, well, they wanted to rob Bivol by keeping it close, but they couldn't. The fight was not that close. All the clean shots were landed by Dmitry Bivol. No contest, no question. Hashtag Canelo Bivol. Hashtag boxing. Now, Teddy Atlas has a podcast, a popular podcast. He's worked with the best of them, Prime Mike Tyson, things of that sort. He used to work on ESPN as a commentator, color commentator or whatever. And he says they wanted to rob Bivol. I agree 1000%. Why is Boxing Ego and Teddy Atlas on his verified page, as you guys see on the screen, saying this? Because the judges, when the fight was announced, it said all three judges had the fight close, 115 to 113. And I'm sure Bivol's heart sank and the fans, because in boxing, so many times the judges, they have these blunderous scorecards, and the boxing world is left to just kind of pick up the pieces. And I was worried for the boy Bivol during the Boxing Ego watch party. Shout out to everybody that supported, because Canelo is nefarious for this. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Canelo is nefarious for having these heightened and exaggerated scorecards that if you actually watched the fight, you would really question how the judges arrived at that. So 115, 113, for starters, like Teddy Atlas is saying, it did not indicate the type of fight that we've seen. In my opinion, Bivol won almost all the rounds. You probably realistically could give Canelo 2 rounds, and it was the early rounds. And some of those were, I'd have to really even watch them again to see if Bivol didn't in fact win some of those rounds too. And I would prefer to look at it, you know, uninterrupted, not on a Boxing Ego watch party. Maybe look at some of the punch counts, CompuBox, to see if I even really would give Canelo the rounds. But off of one viewing live, the first viewing, you know, I gave Canelo like 2 rounds. If you're being generous, say you really, really like Canelo Alvarez, you probably give him an extra round, right? Round was close, whatever. But needless to say, that still does not equate to a tough fight. In a 12-rounder, 12 hard-fought championship rounds, right? That's not a close fight. If somebody won 2 rounds, that means they lost 10. If they won 3 rounds, that means they lost 9. That doesn't really indicate a close fight, right? If you're playing basketball and you're shooting around and you airball it and it comes way short of the actual goal, you wouldn't say, hey man, oh, that's a 2-point shot, because you didn't even come close to hitting the actual net for the ball going in. This is what happened, and it's just to give you guys an analogy. And the Canelo payday, you want payday, I know that. And everybody seems, outside of myself, seems to want to baby Canelo Alvarez. But this, in my opinion, this is the monster you created. Canelo, he a good little fighter. He can fight, you know, he tried. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't get knocked down. He showed some, you know, metal right there. But that's not to say that we should rob people of hard-fought victories. I thought Katie Taylor lost to Amanda Serrano. But even in that fight, maybe some of the rounds were a little bit harder for some people, depending on your vantage point, what you scored and whatever. This fight wasn't even like that fight where you had one person doing this crazy work. Like Canelo, I could show you punch stats. As a matter of fact, I will. Bro, what were the total number of punches? Bivol landed 152. Canelo landed 84. The CompuBox numbers showed that Bivol threw almost double Canelo's output, 710 thrown, and Canelo threw less than 500, 495. The same guy, he has stamina issues, and the connect percentage was higher for Bivol at 21%. So if a guy, CompuBox is not always an indignation or indication of what happened, because someone could throw less like Wilder and knock you out. But in this particular fight, CompuBox does a great job illustrating what we all seen. And that was Canelo was being outworked, out-hustled, and you can't even say Canelo landed the harder shots because people are now crying saying Canelo, he's too small and, you know, he dared to be great and things like that. He never really seemingly hurt Dmitry Bivol. Tell me what second of what round, so I could go back and watch it, of the Canelo versus Bivol on the DAZN pay-per-view, did Canelo ever hurt Bivol? Again, it's just a bunch of violins coming out trying to save face for Canelo because they catapulted him into this, said he's the greatest fighter ever. Some people had conversations, is he the greatest fighter from Mexico, which I told you is false. Listen, he's a really good fighter, but I'm all about perspective. People are now coming out with all these excuses as to why the man lost, and he just lost to a better person with the great strategy. Canelo has suffered and struggled, suffered multiple defeats. Let's be real. His record only shows the Floyd Mayweather defeat, but he really and truly lost more times than that. Canelo Alvarez, people are also on this campaign saying, oh, he lost because he was vegan. That was his personal choice. No one told him to eat meat, don't eat meat, and they still try to wash and they try to wash and remove Canelo's sins and the output and the work, the great boxing that Dmitry Bivol showed. They gave Canelo the first 4 rounds, and it wasn't even that type of fight. Some people didn't even give Canelo 4 rounds after watching the whole thing. So how did you automatically give Canelo the first 4 rounds? But as you guys see on the screen, that's how Tim cheat him. That's what they were trying to do, cheat him. They were trying to cheat Bivol. Boxing needs federal investigation or something, because this is the only way the sport will grow. There's clearly underhanded things, greasing palms, trying to protect certain guys, and these nefarious things that are happening. Even Ryan Garcia said Canelo lost easily. That's his former gym mate. It is what it is. Floyd Mayweather famously coined, the fans can't fight for you, he can't fight for you, she can't fight, your trainer can't fight for you, and that's it. It doesn't matter if you're friends with Canelo. It doesn't matter if you interviewed Canelo, if he's allowed you in his gym. We're all supposed to be here for the sport of boxing. And all this corruption, all this bias and favoritism, it really has no place, because it just shows your character. What is your character about? Like Nipsey Hussle said, what is your texture worth? What's your texture worth if you can't even keep it real? And then now people are coming up with all these excuses saying that Canelo wasn't ready, he was vegan, and Bivol was so much bigger. What are we talking about? It's going to be a very hard year for a lot of the man fans. For example, and this is just a preview of what's to come. Floyd Money Mayweather easy work. When he fought Canelo, he was 36. Canelo was 23. That's a 13-year age advantage for Canelo, who was bigger and stronger. Canelo is listed as shorter, but I believe in the weigh-ins and the face-off, he looked taller than Floyd Mayweather. So that may be inaccurate. Also, Floyd Mayweather weighed in at 150.5, and then the night of the fight, he lost a half a pound. So he really wasn't a true 54-pounder, and Canelo rehydrated from catch weight of 152 to 165, meaning if Floyd weighed 150, he had a 15-pound at least advantage over Floyd Mayweather. And people are crying saying Canelo, who is not small, he's just shorter stature. They're saying, oh, Dmitry Bivol was too big, Canelo was too little. Stop. It's over. Canelo lost. They tried to cheat Bivol, and Bivol was the better man. If you like content like this, boxing news, your access is granted. Please subscribe. And I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.